Hello, this is Business Connect, and today, as usual, I'm joined by my co-host, Charles Odi. Charles, how you doing?
I'm very well this morning.
Excellent. Now, we have a very special guest with us in the studio, and we're going to be talking about effectiveness as an entrepreneur. You know, being an entrepreneur, you are a powerhouse. You are right at the center of everything that concerns your business. And sometimes the demand could become overwhelming. Can you actually be effective all the time? Do you have downtimes and uptimes, and how do you manage them? These are some of the questions we'll be answering on today's edition of Business Connect. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
There is a life full of unlimited possibilities. There is a solution to every situation you may be going through. Yes, your life can be beautiful. You can experience complete transformation in every area of your life. Love World Plus Response Center is here to show you how. Contact us through our various platforms for prayers, counseling, inquiry, and contributions. Call the numbers now showing on your screen. Send an email to info@loveworldplus.org or chat live with us at real time. Log on to www.loveworldplus.org. God bless you.
Welcome back. My guest today is the Principal Transformation Strategist of the Olakunle Soriyan Company, a total life management and nation-building training and consulting firm. The company works with leaders of various arms of governments and NGOs, as well as businesses and institutional leaders at all levels. He also serves on the board of various organizations and remains one of Nigeria's leading strategy consultants. I want to welcome Olakunle Soriyan to the show. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
So great to have you. In fact, I'm really looking forward to this show.
I'm also looking forward to this show as well, sir.
Great.
We're talking about effectiveness for entrepreneurs. Let us begin with defining the term effective. What does it mean to be effective?
You know, first of all, when you are effective, you have clarity about a subject or an issue or an endeavor, and then you are able to use that clarity to find options that are available to you and to know the most important options to embrace as a matter of supreme urgency and to commit to that option. That has been effective. And so you then have people who are busy doing a lot, and that strikes the difference between being active and being effective, because effectiveness is activity with a goal, with a sense of mission and thoroughness that gets the job done. Activity is the same investment of time and energy, but really does not pursue a clear-cut goal. So the clarity to find options, to use that clarity to embrace those options, the most important, the most meaningful of those options, and to embrace them as a matter of high, supreme urgency. That is effective.
That's what makes it effective.
So, is there a difference between effectiveness and efficiency?
Well, yeah, you know, efficiency has to do with, you know, you have this rhythm that gets things going. When you are efficient, it means that all of the, it's like an aggregation of your effectiveness. So when you are an effective person,
over time,
you know, because you have a process that allows you to be effective. So the result of your effectiveness is what they now call efficiency.
Beautiful.
So now let's look at the behavioral level. What makes people effective and others ineffective?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it begins with clarity. A lot of people are not clear about the goal. They are not clear about the why of the goal. And so they are motivated a lot of times by so many other variables that does not impact on their essence or their meaning as individuals. So, for example, you are in a third world environment.
Yes.
Your economics has become your most important priority. Sadly so, because there are other variables like your purpose, you know, like your assignment in life, like your fulfillment, like your meaning, you know, but in an environment with acute ignorance, with a lot of fear and opacity, it's difficult for you to reason beyond the limits of your economics.
Yes.
And so your economics becomes the primary driver of your commitments. So that keeps you suboptimal, because as a human being, you are only allowed to function at a level. You are designed to function at a level. You only perform to installed capacity. Everything on earth performs only to installed capacity. So a 40 kVA generator cannot perform like a 100 kVA generator. A 2 horsepower air conditioner cannot do what a 4 horsepower can do. So you perform to installed capacity. Now, what happens if you are unaware of what is installed, how you are designed? So you then try to get a 25 kVA generator to perform like a 40 kVA generator because you are unaware or you are not clear about its true capacity. So there's this self-awareness that is essentially missing in people, and people are committed to their value in terms of what their economics can protect. So that is the singular driver of commitment. So with that, you'll be doing a lot, but you'll be suboptimal. You will not be effective, really. But you'll be doing a lot.
You'll be doing a lot. There's some people who criticize, they say, a lot of people who are looking to achieve purpose, you're trying to create a vision. Hey, go and sort out your hunger issues. Go and get food on your table. And it's like getting food on your table is a smart way to go. But from what we're discussing now, it's like not quite so.
No, it can't be so because, first of all, because you are human, you are born to solve a problem. You are born to solve problems for people. There's a reason why you are here, actually. There's nothing that is not designed or born with a purpose. Your design, you know, is actually subject to your purpose. It is the purpose of a thing that determines the design of the thing. You have to establish the why of a thing before you make the thing. So before you make a pencil, you have to ask yourself, what is it going to do?
Exactly.
We want to solve this problem, and we need this kind of equipment to solve this problem. So your purpose precedes your design, it precedes your plan, it precedes your everything that you have to do. So it begins with your purpose. Now, if you do it the other way around, you know, you create a malfunction, you know. And when a human being is malfunctioning, it's not a popular tragedy because it's not as if your legs are going to bend or your eyes are going to go blind. You know, you will still look good, you will dress nice. So there's something called confident ignorance. It means that you know nothing, but you are not aware. You know, or there is this commitment to do so much. You are investing so much energy. There's momentum, but there's no direction. So you find that there's a difference between movement. Like I've said to a lot of people, there's movement, there's progress, there's motion. So when you are in motion, you are sweating, but it doesn't mean you are moving. It means, for example, if you are jumping on one spot, you are burning energy, you are consuming time, but you see you are not moving. But movement in itself is a very relative quality, because if you then move, we still have to worry about where you are moving to. So if you move in the wrong direction, you still have a hybrid of nuisance, because you are still not going anywhere. So progress has to be motion plus movement in the right direction. And that is when you are becoming, you know, optimized. So there's a lot of motion backed up with movement in the right direction. What you have is that people are in motion, they are moving, but not necessarily in the right direction. So they are either suboptimal or completely ineffective.
Wow. Let's look at those three sets of people and try to see symptoms that can identify them. The first set of people are those who have motion, activity, no movement. Some other people have activity with movement, but in the wrong direction. Then the third set of people have activity, movement, and the right direction. So let's look at, how do I identify where I am? How do I know which one?
You know, the first thing is there's a lot of assumptions about people that allows them to overrate their ability to interpret way forward. You know, a lady gave me a call and she said she's pregnant 5 months. She didn't give me a call actually, she met me. And she said she's pregnant 5 months and she's feeling she's going to die. She's feeling like she's going to die. She feels like she wants to die. So, of course, she was expecting me to maybe, you know, pray for her or put my hands on her or, you know, something spiritual.
Yes.
But I didn't go in that direction because it didn't make sense to me what she was describing. So I simply asked her, sorry, madam, how did you know? How did you know that you want to die? Have you died before? How are you able to spot the difference in the feelings?
The symptoms of death.
Of those who want to die. You must have a track record of some sort or some experience in dying that allows you to be able to spot that this feeling I'm having is a feeling of, and she was blank. It dawned on her that she can't know that. You really are not supposed to know that you have a feeling that you want to die because you don't know
what the feeling is.
So you really can't. An Indian cannot wake up in the morning and feel like eating a dikaiko or amala. It's not part of their. It's not in their reality at all. They won't have that desire. It's not because a dikaiko is not existing, but they won't have that desire. So if they have any problem, and no matter how hungry they are very hungry, has not eaten for 7 days, they will feel like eating pizza if it's an American or some kind of burger. It won't feel like eating amala for whatever reason because it's not in its reality. So that tells you the place of clarity. You know, and you can't overemphasize the place of clarity. People actually not clear about what they need to do, why they need to do it. You know, so people get married, for example, because society insists that at a level of
time,
of consuming time on earth, you should bring a woman or a man into your life. So people have settled down into the marriage function or the parenting function because their birth certificate says so. You know, they are busy trying to meet the weak standards of society that says that once you are 35, you should be married. So once they are 35 and they are not married, they are worried. And then they get into the marriage situation and they are suboptimal, they are malfunctioning. And they are not, because they are not driven into that marriage situation because of the commitment to allow another human species to find the kind of attention, resources, and drive his or her individuality deserves. That's not what drove them into that commitment. What drove them there is that, I'm 35, I need to settle down. So you settle down to create stress and pain for people that you love, not because you want to, because people are sincerely clueless. So you don't want to create pain, but your ignorance allows you to create pain. You make promises to yourself again and again. You break as many as you make. Not because you want to break it, but you are not empowered to keep it. You are not empowered to keep that promise. So it works in business, it works in the family situation, it works in relationship. People, there are books about how to have sex, there are books about how to build a house. You know, there are ways you can go about all of these things and learn them. But people become parents by default. People just assume that they can be good parents by default, like you can be old enough for any level of responsibility. If that is true, it means that somebody can be old enough to be a CEO and somebody can be old. So all old people should be very rich and prosperous. But it doesn't work that way, does it? So the idea is that you can't be old enough for any level of responsibility. You can only be knowledgeable, ready, and matured enough for it. And there are so many people who are accepting responsibility and they are not matured enough for that level of responsibility. So sincerely, they are malfunctioning, they are suboptimal, they are ineffective.
Wow. Fantastic. You know, we have a lot of business owners and SMEs watch us week in, week out. And then you said something about doing a lot. You know, the entrepreneurs who are doing a lot, who are struggling, but they are not effective. So if we have, is it a situation between smart work and hard work? Or do you recommend something that those entrepreneurs can do to check what they are doing right now?
First of all, I will advise that they connect to people who are professionally and experientially qualified to counsel and to advise. I was trying to say that, look, you have not lived before. It's pretty much that you have not gone to a place before. You need a map, don't you?
Yes,
you need to lean on people. You need to ask questions. When we were coming to the studio today, we didn't know the way. We had to talk to people. Asking people does not define our smallness at all. It's just this, confirms the fact that we are coming to a place we have not been before. Humility demands that we unlock, our value that we place on ourselves and connect it to the value that others have, to say, look, we are going to so place. Do you know the place? It's not reducing us in any way. It's just necessary that we ask questions about how to get there. You have not lived before. You have 70 years ahead of you. Why do you think you know the way? And unlike on the express road, there are signposts that give you direction. There is a route to everywhere you are trying to go. Even in the sky, there is a route there. There are routes to every destination there. But in the sky, just like in life, there are no signposts, there are no direction boards.
Exactly.
But the trained eyes of a pilot can find the route. The route in the sky is invisible, but it doesn't cancel its potency. Though you can't see the route, it does not mean it's not there.
Okay.
You need the trained eyes of a pilot to be able to see that route and navigate the plane and take you in that direction.
Okay.
So just like in life, you have people who, because you can't see the pathway, it doesn't mean there's no route there. You need to lean on people, and that's the place of mentorship. Develop relationships that can pace you, reduce your error rate, and give you direction. It's so critical. I would give young entrepreneurs that advice any day. Find people who have done what you are trying to do. Lean on them, people who have the character, who have the reputation capital to be able to advise you, and lean on them for direction.
Okay, wow. We're going to go on a short break now, and I'm sure you're having so much fun listening to Olakunle Soriyan right here on Business Connect. And he's talking about something that is so important. Charles, when we started out, one of the most important things we learned earlier was we need experienced people.
I'm telling
you. Us how exactly to go.
The hows and the whys.
Exactly.
So that we don't make those mistakes that you're just trying to point out.
He talked about reducing your error rate. We're going to take the conversation further when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Level Plus is now on your mobile format and connects you in real time. You can now watch your favorite programs, episodes, live shows, prayer shows, features, live TV, archived videos, and lots more. You can also participate with your comments and contributions from anywhere in the world. Download on any of your mobile device, whether it's Android or iOS or Windows, the Level Plus mobile app now, and stay connected. Level Plus, totally you.
Hello, you're still on to Business Connect show, and we still have the management consultant of the Olakunle Soriyan company, Mr. Olakunle Soriyan. Sir, before we went on the break, we were talking a bit about effective people. I want us to transcend a bit and go into effective brands. What makes some brands effective and others ineffective?
That is a symposium discussion, I'm just telling you, because there's so much about branding. There's so many factors and many inputs that define brand equity. But branding is a subject that young entrepreneurs should think about, but I will have them think, first of all, about the business. And what do I mean by that? You can choose to see all of what you call logos, colors, and all of that. They're just parts of what branding is all about. Right. The greatest way you can brand your organization is to develop a reputation capital in the minds of your customers and those who experience your business. And that comes from the way you do it. So one of the first things you want to worry about is the legacy you want to leave behind. You see, I'll say this. When you come into an environment like ours, because it's very important for us to keep this very, very practical,
Yes.
for people to be able to understand.
Yes.
There's a big difference between having a business and running a company. They are similar in shell in that they are both registered, they have bank accounts, they have logos, they have colors, they have letterheads, complimentary cards, brochures, and all of that, but they are different. A company is what forms your legacy, and when you set up a business, it's first of all a business before it becomes a company. And permit me to give this redefinition.
Okay.
When most African businessmen die, they leave a lot of money in the bank, they leave real estate, they have some stocks here and there. The business that created all of that dies with them. Essentially because all their life they ran a successful business, not a company, not an organization, not an institution. And so if you think Japan, what do you think about? You think about Toyota,
Electronics.
Honda, Mitsubishi, Panasonic. You can go on and on. If you think Korea, you think LG, you think Kia, you think Hyundai, Samsung. If you think Germany, you think Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Opel, Volkswagen,
Yes.
Saab, Heineken. If you think France, Renault, Peugeot. If you think America, you can't even stop. Google, Yahoo, Twitter, Coca-Cola, GM, Ford, Chrysler. So many big brands are there. When you look at third world nations and the poorest countries in the world, there's no global brand out there.
We have the Dangote.
That is, with due respect, with due respect, Dangote is not what I'm talking about. And I say so not to spite
Yes.
Dangote's organization or the Dangote group. They make a lot of money, and that's where I'm going.
Yes.
It's not about making a lot of money. It's about, doing business in such a way that people of diverse cultures are trading with you. Again, it's about thinking about business with a global view, that allows purchasing power to be attracted from different parts of the world and bring to headquarters at home in a way that impacts on GDP and per capita income. It's important you underscore that, because when you are building an organization, it's completely different from the demands of building a business.
Yes.
A business must make money, and for you to become a full-fledged organization with the kind of capacity I'm talking about, you have to pass the test of business first.
Wow.
It means you need to be profitable. So when you start a business, you may not worry about HR, admin, corporate affairs. You worry about business development, market penetration.
Yes.
That becomes your focus.
Right.
Now, there are businesses who are doing multi-million, 500 million, 800 million, but they are still businesses. The day they die, the business dies, because there's no structure that allows that company to function in an automated format that gives it some kind of independence beyond the visionary. So there are companies in America that have been on ground for 150 years. Their owners died decades ago, and the businesses are stronger now than when their owners were here. The way it works is not just about building a brand and getting the colors right and getting big and getting popular. Yeah. It's about systems. It's about structure. It's about culture. Most importantly, there is a way things are done in those environments that keep those things going. So when you talk about an effective organization, it's not necessarily the one with the biggest brand. There are organizations that are no longer existing. Where's Arthur Andersen? They are dead. Where's WorldCom? They are dead. This is a colossal organization of many years ago.
Yes.
Forget about America. Let's come home. Where's Concord Newspapers? Where's Okada Airline?
Yes.
Where are all these were massive organizations. When Chicken George died, it died without competition. Chicken George was the fast food many years ago, before Mr. Big thought of fast food, before Sweet Sensation, before any fast food. Chicken George was everywhere, with stores, with shops, with restaurants everywhere. They died with what killed Chicken George was in Chicken George. Do you know Terry's Burgers? If you are in Lagos in the 90s, in the early 90s, and you have not been to Terry's Burgers, you don't know what's happening in town. But what happened to Terry's Burgers? They died. I could give you a long list of organizations. What about magazines, Akakpa Top News? You know, these were magazines that were on ground, you know, but they went. If you go to Benin now and you are landing at the airport, just look to your left, you see a fleet of airplanes, you know, that are there. That's Okada Airline. That's where we got the name of the bikes we call Okada from.
Right,
the visionaries behind those businesses are still alive. It's not as if they are dead. The business is completely dead. Concord newspapers, Concord Airlines, they died with the visionaries. You see, something is wrong. And I say to young entrepreneurs today, see, the greatest effectiveness you can have is not just about making a lot of money, because people made money.
Yes.
People made money. So young people should be able to think differently, see the big picture from the very beginning, and know exactly where you are going and what you want to achieve and why you want to achieve it. Understand the kind of exertions, commitment that will be required to go all the way, the kind of thinking, mentality that you need to give yourself to be able to go all the way. Kind of see the end from the very beginning and make up your mind the kind of organization you want to build from the very beginning. And if you don't want to build that kind of organization that society can be grateful for, you know, you probably don't need to worry, because Africa right now, we don't need successful people anymore. We have so many successful people and the nuisance value is multiplying. We need people who can succeed in such a way that society can be grateful for. And I think that is priceless. So my advice to young people is get a big vision. See your business in Brazil, in Curacao, in Florida, in Silicon Valley, in Mombasa, in India, in Joburg, in Accra. See your business everywhere. We need people to dream big dreams and to have the commitment to make it happen. The people, economies are strong because there are people with big dreams. And you know, with somebody, I think you mentioned Dangote, you know, what we are discussing is not to discount the great efforts going there. The business will get to that level, the organization will get there, but it's not where we are. And Dangote is not the benchmark, you know, but it's a fantastic organization to rally around, you know, and we should keep having the hope and the expectation to get there. But that is not the benchmark.